think just to get it on the record, given what we've just heard and what we know from previous recommendations, is it accurate to say the Scottish Government doesn't always accept the advice of the UK Climate Change Committee?
So the UK climate, well, obviously, because I wouldn't be sat here putting this bill forward if we had said that we couldn't go for 75% reduction by 2030. But as Ms Lennon will remember, it was actually during the process of the 2019 Climate Change Now Act, was it Rosanna Cunningham put forward a draft that, I'm trying to remember, was it 65% reduction by 2030, and it was Parliament that actually voted in favour of 75%. Now, Rosanna Cunningham was very clear at the time that she said, Parliament has voted for 75% reduction by 2030. We have to recognise that the action to get us there will have to follow. The target setting isn't enough. Now, that was a very, very challenging target, and the Committee for Climate Change at the time said to us that it was not in line with their advice. They did not think it was achievable. They thought it was extremely challenging. I think that in this country and in the wider UK, we can see not meeting a target as failure. But the way I like to look at it is, if you don't set challenging targets that change a culture, that change a mindset, that show that you have bold ambition, that maybe action isn't accelerating as fast as it could do. So do I regret not us as a Parliament steering away from the advice that we were given from the Climate Change Committee, that we should have actually stuck to what Rosanna Cunningham put forward at the time, which was 65% reduction? Yes and no. Certainly, we would be nearer to 65% than 75%. But has it accelerated action? Has it meant that net zero is now embedded far more deeply across government, far more deeply across society, far more deeply across local government? It's embedded itself into the Agriculture Bill, it's embedded itself into the MPF4, it's embedded itself across policy making. And remember, the CCC doesn't give you policy advice. It gives you advice on the targets. So, in summary, the answer is we did not take their advice in 2019. We went further. We have looked at how can we get a climate change plan that's credible, deliverable, as soon as possible out there. This is the way that we have done this. Having this narrow bill, which sets the climate change, the carbon budgeting process mechanism, gets it in statute, advice, secondary legislation on the targets, draft climate change plan. I want to see that happen as quickly as possible, so that you've got the time as a committee, so that wider Scotland has a time to look at the climate change plan, which is where all the policy discussion is going to take place, which is where all the action points are going to be.